I did the second yapping stream. Do not slander my name. Hey, Dr. D. Hey, Sushi. Hey, Huteful. Hey, Eponymous. Weary Huteful. How y'all doing? Oh. Oh. Another week. Another grind. Good. How's y'all's week's been? Good? I hope so. Except for Nick. I hope your week has been middling. Not bad, but like mid. Spent a week planning Easter events. Wait, when is Easter? Wait, Easter. I know it's Sunday. Isn't it the first Sunday of May or something? Easter. Sunday 20. Oh, it's next week. It's next Sunday. Hey, Zul. How you going? Hey, Wolfgang. Addicted to Blueprints and stayed up till 3 playing it last night. Based. Everybody's got their own little obsessions. I've been playing Minecraft again. I've been not playing that at night. It's not this. Oh, no, it's Sunday. It's next weekend. This weekend it would be if it was this week, but it's next week, so it's next weekend. Hey, Truji, how you going? So is Bree. Bree never stopped playing Minecraft. Bree went from one Minecraft hyperfixation to the next. I saw her on Twitter talking about learning how to build, and I wanted to reply, but like being like, oh my god, you should do this, and then I was like, I'm not gonna backseat her on Twitter. I'll let her build her own little cubes. You got a new tattoo? Dang, this is gonna go. I really want to get a tattoo, but also pain. Owie. Owie. Paramedics said I didn't need admitting. That's one W. No medical bills. We'd love to see it. Let me pivot. Oh wait, no, YouTube. YouTube, don't look. YouTube, you're not on screen. Wait, I'm not on screen. Oh, there I am. Hi. Here we go, YouTube. We'll get you fixed right up. I got you, homies. I've got you guys. There we go. Ah! What did I do? Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Wait. Okay, don't worry about it. We're fine. For a moment, the entire world was YouTube chat. It was a dark and scary place. It was terrifying. Hey, Doris, say again. There's a tattoo shop in your hospital? Is that legal? I guess if you get an infection, that's where you want to be. I just choked on my gamer subs. Oh no, I'm dying. This is how it ends for me, chat. This is how I go out. Oh god. So we can plan a Easter fight. Some only reasons yesterday that it was not today. Dang, that's crazy. You and Weary should talk. The motto is adorable. Thank you. He's called Ulix for no particular reason. I should do a tier list, or not a tier list. I should ask you guys to vote on like what models you like the most. Of the what 5 I currently have. Give us Chabit. No, you have done nothing to deserve Chabit. You have not earned Chabit. You've not put in the hours for Chabit. Once you've proven to me your Chabit worthiness, I shall give Chabit. Why have you put it in emo only? Wait, did I just put it in emo only? Why does it say emo only in my thing? Oh, I forgot. Hang on. Why have you done this? There we go. Why did you put it in emo only? You emoted only. I can see it in my log, you prick. Don't fuck with me. I have the power of hindsight on my side. Hey, Cupcake, how you going? What is Chabit? Chabit is something chat has been asking for a while. And I've yet to give it to them. I have the files ready, but they don't deserve it. It's I still need to ask if the AI voicing is okay, but I'll ask. And Chabit's one of the potential models that Twitch chat would be able to swap me into if I enabled it, and I've yet to give them it, and they are mad. Very mad. Don't be sus, chat. Chat can be a little sus. My chat's pretty clean, pretty say-so. You got no one to really simp over, so we're kind of just we're rot maxing. Chabbit is pain. Chabbit's been in a cardboard box for like 3 months, I think, at this point. Poor guy. He kind of needs to be let out for it. Do you need to walk rabbits? But they don't really walk, they hop. I assume not. I assume you just let them free roam, right? We had rabbits as a kid. I think they got eaten by a fox. I can't remember. It was when I was very, very little, but I remember they used to be in a cage outside, and I remember one day they disappeared, and I don't think I was told exactly what happened. I think they went to a farm upstate, but you know when you get old enough and you start hearing all the family shit, that you start hearing about, like, you know, that relative that nobody in the family talks to and you don't know why, but as a kid you're like, oh, why do we not like them? And then you hear the shit when you level up. Did I just refer to growing older as leveling up? I'm so rot maxing. Is Chabbit Lopi's chatbot pet? Yeah, Chabbit's the mascot. I have the files here. She sent me them, but I've not put them on yet, despite her demanding it every single fucking stream. Black cat girl that hides from people? Based? I wish I could. I just hide from people. I'm not a black cat girl. I'd be a great cat girl. I think I give off black cat vibes. You know how you have like the two types of people? You have like the golden Labradors and the black cats. I think I'm more black cat than lab. She used them like twice. Lopi used everything like twice. She streamed like twice a year. I'm pretty sure if you ran the statistics at this point, I've probably used most of her models more than she has. I think that was back when, you know, it's wild going back and like looking at like early interactions, because I have a lot of not to brag, I have a lot of friends. I have a few like friends in the VTubing scene, right? And most of them come from like public interactions, obviously, like Collabs or Twitter or whatever. And it's kind of wild to be able to go back to when we first started talking and like see the development of the friendship and how awkward you talk to people when you don't know them yet. It was kind of I think before I even talked to her, I covered her in the fucking news shorts, which is kind of funny to think about. Now I never cover her in the news shorts because fuck her. I have lots of friends. I have at least 2, maybe even 3, if we're willing to stretch the definition of friends. Good with social connections, which is why I trust you. That may be the only time anyone's ever said that to me in my life. Yep, there we go. Back in OG mode. I'm still... One day I'll commit and like record just a full-on short in this model. I have to put on the Lopi voice and do it. Here's what happened. Screwdriver. Only if I'm in the passenger seat. He has lots of enemies, mostly Bonder girls and a few children. I've not even been keeping track of my family tree at this point. How many kids do I have? I mean, I think isn't it just the one? Do I have multiple? Do I have a dad? I don't know my own lore. But yeah, it's been a week. I wish you know those tweets. I don't know if you guys have seen those tweets. I think I saw one for Jojo where a VTuber tweet like, man, I wish I was big enough to tweet this and get 100 people reply just going, yeah. Like, I want to be that level, but I want to be that level where I can tweet a fish emote and break the entirety of VTuber Twitter. Cause holy shit. You guys see that? I pay attention to people. I like talking to chat. They can be nice. Some of chat. YouTube chat I've discovered is a lot nicer than Twitch chat. It's like a weird split between the two. Twitch chat's kind of full of dicks, but YouTube chat tends to be a bit nicer. So this is why I started multi-streaming. Because YouTube chat fuels my ego and then Twitch chat breaks it down. It's a very, what's the word? Not parasitic. It's a little parasitic. What's the word? Symbiotic. That's the one. It's like the, I saw a YouTube video about elephant feet today. Don't ask why elephant feet are on my For You page. I will not answer. And it was like, yeah, in captivity, elephant feet need to be filed down because otherwise they grow out of control. So it's like a constant thing of like the walking files down the feet. and then the unwalking grows it, and then they fail, unfail, and I realize that's what my chats are. The YouTube chat builds me up, and the Twitch chat breaks me down. No, not that elephant. No, actual elephant feet. Not the elephant foot. Elephant foot's full of corium, which would be really funny to put in a water gun. Hey, Accumulator, how you going? The corium is a fucked up substance. Sorry, English not your first language? Hey, it's all good. English is my first language, and I still suck at it. I still forget every word I've ever known, so you're fine. You're in good company. You speak actually quite well for somebody it's not your first language. You're not great, Ben. Fuck you guys. Stop coming over to YouTube to corrupt them. Don't corrupt my only positive audience. Then I'll just be all negative and then I'll get sad again. With AC migrating back to YouTube, I might stick here. There's the YouTube Twitch thing is, I've seen a lot more people interacting on doing like Twitter streams. Actually, I'm curious. I don't think anybody will ever know how Twitter works, so I don't expect that of you. Don't worry, I have very realistic expectations for my chat. But does anyone fucking understand how the view count works on Twitter? Is it just how many people have clicked in to view the stream? Is that what it is? Because I swear I see some weird view counts on Twitter Spaces, and it looks like not Twitch, Twitter. Like if you go to Twitter and you go to like the top right, and it says like live on X, I see people with like 10,000 views, but I think it's just people who've clicked on, like it's counting video views, not live viewership. I think. I don't know. I've never streamed on Twitter. I don't think I ever will stream on Twitter. I mean, you could. It'd be easy, but also, ugh. Well, I mean, there's live streams on X. Have you never seen them? I could show you real quick. I have a few. Like, Sayu, for example, has one right now where you just join Twitch to chat, right, at the top. I spilled my gamer subs all over myself. Why am I so clumsy? It wasn't all over myself. It was like a few drops down my wrist. Oh god, now I look like a cat. I'm licking my wrist. Oh no. I get cats now. I'm cat girl maxing. Penis botting. Don't say penis botting. I know a lot of people multi-stream on Twitter just from Twitch and then put like in the Twitter thing of like join Twitch to chat. I think the one thing Twitter Spaces are good for is they let you, they're kind of like an easy way to do a quote-unquote stream from your phone. Like I know I scaled again. I'm sorry. I'm clumsy. I have very long arms and I still don't really know how to control them. Cat ears when? Yeah, I'll get a cat ear toggle for my model. That'll be another channel point redeem. You guys can just put fucking animal ears on me. I know a certain sick person oftentimes when she's bedridden will do a Twitter space instead, because it's a way for them to like do streams without having to actually, you know, get out of bed, God forbid. But I've never streamed on anywhere except Twitch and YouTube. I debated doing a TikTok stream the other day just to see how it works, because like I have like 60k followers on TikTok, but I never interact with TikTok. Like I never reply to comments on TikTok. I never interact with TikTok at all. I never do streams. I never do anything, right? So I have no idea what my TikTok audience is like. I literally I go to TikTok, I drop the TikTok, and then I leave. I don't really stick around or anything. But every time I talk to a YouTuber, anytime I talk to a VTuber, anytime I talk to any content creator, and they're like, oh yeah, I know you from TikTok. You're on my TikTok feed. I've never heard anyone say I'm the like YouTube Shorts guy. Everybody always says I'm the TikTok guy, even though my TikToks get less views than my Shorts, which makes me wonder what the fuck is going. Do you know what I think it is? I think my TikToks just end up on every VTuber's TikTok. I think that's what my TikTok audience is. It's just all other VTubers. So here's what. Shut up, me. So I don't know. I'm curious. I never interact with TikTok comments or speak to them, but I get a lot of them, and I feel like it's normally what good content creators do is they interact with their audience, right? But I never do it, and I feel like I probably should more. But I don't know. TikTok scares me. Not penis talk. That's probably not a allowed hashtag on there. TikTok. I feel like I feel I have just such a negative view of TikTok because TikTok comments are genuine. TikTok comments are genuinely the least intelligent place on the internet, I think. You go to TikTok comments, right? And there's just people asking for explanations about everything. Nobody understands anything. Nobody gets jokes. Nobody knows what anything is. Every reply is just a very obvious question about things that nobody should need the answer to. They don't get jokes. They don't get sarcasm. It's genuinely like... Can we make it short longer than 6 seconds so we can sort of like short have more breathing space? I don't know. It's kind of hard, right? Are you think Omer? One day I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna dissect Omer. I don't understand. Part of me thinks he has to be like a bot. Hey, Mama Cookie Box. How you going? It's like they watch the sound off but also can't lip read. Dude, it's genuinely insane. I go into the comments of like a video and it's just people asking for explanations about things that they could either look up or just should know anyway. Like, the joke is in the short. The entire thing, like the entire TikTok will be a self-contained joke. There's no references to anything outside, and the top comment will be like, I don't get it. And it's like, fucking look at it. But then, do you know what's fucking annoying as well? Is that it also does the exact opposite, right? Where when there is some niche, obscure reference, Shield Brooklyn, thank you for the follow. When there is some like obscure reference to something in the TikTok, fucking nobody in the comments explains shit. The top comment will be like, hey, what's this a reference to? I don't get it. And the next like 10 replies will all be jokes or not explanations or anything. It is simultaneously the place with the least people who know shit, but also the least amount of explaining. And it's just, it makes me frustrated. It makes me very frustrated. And so that's why I've kind of held off doing TikTok streams, because I have a feeling if I had a chat full of people like that, I would commit Sudoku. It would be Jover. I would not return. But it also then feels bad, because it feels bad to have like, I don't know, thousands of people commenting on stuff I've made, and I'm just kind of like, I don't reply. But it's also replying to shorts comments is hard, because it's a lot of time. It's just, I think my most recent short, most of the comments are for April Fools. You should do an NPC stream. Thank you, Hupful. That's a great suggestion. I'm going to do it specifically because Resnick deleted that message and so clearly doesn't want me to do it. I think on this most recent short, I actually kind of like it, because from what I saw from my notifications, it looks like everybody is just doing fish emoji. It's just a lot of fish emojis. Just a lot of them, and it's great. I love it. Different things are obscure to different ages. I've seriously had to explain Pac-Man recently. That's another thing on TikTok, because TikTok is so young. Like, it skews so young, and it's kind of hard to remember how dumb you are when you're that young. No offense to any young people in chat. Don't worry. I'm not going to say you get better. Like, adults are still really dumb, but they're dumb in different ways. It's... Speaking to, not that I speak to kids frequently, please don't put me on twitter.com. I'm not a Minecraft streamer. Please understand. But penis, oh, fuck you. There's, I don't know, there's this sort of like weird vibe with young people nowadays. And I think it's because as young people nowadays, fuck, I sound like a grandmother. But I think it's just because as information becomes more and more quick and fast, it happened with our generation as well, of like, you're taking in so much information so quickly all the time that they just, I feel like they have just stream of consciousness onto any space of the internet all the time. It is just, there is no filter, there is no, hey, is what I'm saying of a valuable input to anything. They like flick to a short see half the short, post a comment, flip to the next short, post a comment, flip to the next short. I'm a young team and I do not have, people do not have filters nowadays. It's just, young kids on the internet nowadays, and I get it's probably because they grew up with it, so that probably is what they, like, they view the internet as, but they view it like just a chat room. So every comment section is just stream of, like, there would be, you go to like any, like, I don't know, sometimes I get basketball TikToks on my feed because I enjoy basketball, right? And there will be like, this is Yao Ming, he's the tallest player ever, or this is the smallest person to ever dunk, or shit like that, right? And you go to the comments, and the first top 10 comments are like, I'm 6'3" and I'm only 14. That's the entire comment. No joke, no insightful information, just I am this age and I am this tall. And it's like, bro, who cares? Nobody gives a shit. Like, it's... You get that a lot as well whenever you have... Like, I know a lot of creators have had to deal with this. Whenever you have, like, Shorts viewers or TikTok viewers come into stream, not all of them, obviously, but, like, a lot of the younger ones, same really, no. They have that very same, like, kind of thing of... they're very like in their own head. So they come into the stream and they have like, oh, I have my thing that I want to happen, my thing that I care about. And they'll come in and they'll just dump that in chat. And it's like completely unrelated to whatever's going on. It's like, have you seen this? Or do you like this? Or what is your, you know, will you do this? And they do that exact thing everywhere on the internet. Every comment section is just whatever they thought in that moment. Every tweet, every chat is just whatever thing they want most addressed at this time. And I think that's why a lot of Shorts content creators who have that sort of audience get so tired of it, because it's like dealing with 1,000 different trains of thought at once. It's a bit like the Amazon Q&As where somebody has responded to the question with, I don't know. Dude, oh my God. I hate that so much. You get that in TikTok a lot. It's... What do you feel about League of Legends? Oh, it hurts. I'm sorry. You've been banned. Hers is wait, is hers name Shura? Why was I unaware? Is that... I mean, it makes sense. It's what's it called? Anagram? No, not acronym. Hers is not Shura backwards. Read what you just typed, Resnick. Read it. Read it and weep. I thought it'd be funny. It wasn't. You should feel bad. Never make a joke again. Oh, that's why I spelled my game. I would keep wondering. I was like, am I just extra clumsy today? Why do I keep spilling my gamer subs? It's because I didn't put the cap on right. Fuck me. I just kept getting a little bit all over my hands every time I took a drink, and I was like, what is wrong with me today? It's not because I'm clumsy. It's because I'm ooped. No, it's not a leaky cup. I just didn't screw the lid on. Rate your last XCOM stream. Dude, last XCOM stream was great. We won. And all we had to do was make Ulix kill themselves. It was great. It was a win-win for everyone. Yeah, no, I could rant about children on the internet for a while. It's also like, I think one of the worst things about it is this why I made Ulix an MC? I think so, vaguely in the back of my mind. I probably remembered that they had to kill themselves, and I was like, yeah, I know who needs to do this. To be fair, she did ask for the lobotomy, so it's kind of not really my fault. The worst thing about kids on the internet is that they incentivize the worst kind of content to be popular, and because kids have so much time to watch content and so little fucking quality assurance, not quality assurance, standards, that's the word, of what they like, it's just, I blame children for the content epidemic on youtube.com. You know how it felt like for a while every content creator just started making worse content? Like the only good content out there was like the hour-long rants and video essays, and all the normal content creators got slowly worse and worse. I blame children for that. Because there's no reason for content creators to put in effort and time into things when they can just make child-friendly stuff and rake in views. And I realize I'm a very angry old man shouting at cloud, but I support YouTube's attempts to segregate YouTube Kids. I love YouTube Kids. I think YouTube Kids is a great idea. I hate YouTube Kids, how it was implemented, because it didn't fucking fix anything. They made YouTube Kids and then just kept YouTube the same, so it didn't do anything. You just had YouTube Kids as an additional thing, but main YouTube was still under the same rules. It's the sleep market's also lucrative. Dude, my VOD channel, which, you know, I don't upload to anymore because all the VODs are here anyway because I multi-stream. But my VODs channel, is this Spider-Man? No, it's not. I thought that was a Spider-Man soundtrack. I was like, this is definitely going to get me copyright struck. My VODs channel, one of the VODs got a genuinely absurd number of views for like an 8-hour VOD or whatever, right? And I looked into it and I was like, how the fuck did this happen? Because normally my VODs got like, I don't know, in the tens of views, right? Because who's going to sit down and watch a VOD on a alternate channel, right? It's not exactly peak content. One of them got thousands and thousands of views for no real. It was like one of my random Minecraft streams. Nothing really interesting happened. The thumbnail wasn't particularly riveting. There's nothing insanely algorithm breaking about it. But for some reason, I got onto my VOD channel one day, and I noticed that the views were absurd. It was like 6,000-7,000 views on a VOD, but 0 interaction. Like 6 likes, no comments, whatever, right? There's still only 2 comments on that VOD. 2 for someone for 7,000 views or whatever was on it, which is absurd and made it look like I was botting. And I was like, oh fuck. And I think what happened is I somehow I think fell into the Yappening stream playlist or something, where I must have been like sucked into one of those playlists where I was just getting played to people falling asleep to videos, because I imagine what happened was it was just auto playing, and so people were watching the entire fucking stream. Average view, what is the average view duration for that video? Analytics. Let's see. Average view duration for that video is 1 hour and 2 minutes. 1 hour and 2 minutes is an average view duration for like a 4-hour video is absurd. That, like, statistically, that is ridiculous. A 1 hour average view rating for a video is, it doesn't happen, really. So, like, even the most popular people don't hit that, because it's just a fact that most people that click into a video don't stick around for it. Like, it's the reality of content creation nowadays, is that people just click in, watch a few minutes and go, oh no, not for me, and click out. So your views to people who stick around is not very, very big. How many cents you making it? Oh, I made nothing because my VOD channel isn't monetized, Sag. It would have probably made a fuck ton of money. Or not a fuck ton, but it made a decent amount of money for the amount of views it got if it had been monetized, but it wasn't. So, L me. No money for me, Sag. Favorite feature from YouTube Kids is that you can tell YouTube that you don't want your video to be in it, and they'll put it in anyways and then ban you for breaking YouTube Kids TOS. Yeah, make like $1.50 at most. No, I think a video, honestly, an average view duration of an hour with like 4,000 or 5,000 views would probably make you like 10 quid, unironically. If like from like some napkin math. So not a fuck ton, but a little bit. Because the thing is, you have to remember that money earned is nothing to do with view count. It's to do with view duration. Essentially, the way you can think about AdSense and ad revenue on YouTube is that it's how many 8-minute segments of watch time you have. Because every 8 minutes of watch time you have is at least one ad played to a person, assuming they're not ad blocking. So if you have 100,000 views, but an average view duration of like a minute, you're going to get effectively the same as, I don't know, like 7,000 views if that video had an average view duration of like 8 minutes. Yeah, so like, I mean, I don't know why the rant of today is about YouTube statistics and analytics, but for comparison, like my most viewed video right now probably earned the least amount of money of any video on my channel. Because my most viewed video was the 41-second shitpost that I made, if you all remember that. And that got like 160k views, not counting shorts, obviously. Which, like, hey, 1.4k watch hours is still... It's kind of absurd. Watch hour statistics always make me kind of freak out. It's weird to think that 1.4 thousand hours were spent watching my fucking shitpost. That's weird. That's a waste of time. Of course, not very relatable to a huge majority of viewers. It's very off-putting subject usually. Well, people, I don't know. I think some people enjoy seeing behind the scenes. It's just a lot of content creators aren't willing to like really let people see. I'm not going to dive too far into it because I have showed metrics before, but it's interesting to think about. Like from a monetary standpoint, the VTubing 2024 shitpost I made probably earned about the same amount of money as like one of my news videos that got 20,000 views. So it's interesting. YouTube is weird. That short? Yeah, that wasn't even really a short, it was a shitpost, but yeah. YouTube is weird. Content creation is weird. I'm so sad that I can't... You know what's sad about TikTok for me? I've yet never made a single cent off TikTok. Not one. Ever. Because I can't monetize it because TikTok hates me specifically, which is kind of like, huh? Why do I keep posting it? But then it's for the grind, it's for the content. Because I said, if you remember when I did the just chatting stream a few weeks ago, where I was like, I want to see how I feel about shorts and whatnot. The thing I've noticed recently, now that I'm focusing just on the shorts, and also that I feel less obligated to be like a news tuber, and I'm more happy being just a regular, you know, talk boy, and I don't feel compelled to put every drama that happened this week in the news. I've actually been kind of enjoying it again. I've actually been pretty happy with it. Like, it doesn't drain me. It doesn't... I'm back to being kind of happy, because when I'm looking up stuff for the shorts, I'm like, man, you know, I'm learning cool things that people have done. I'm seeing cool events, and then I stumble across drama. Like this week, I stumbled across the idol stuff, which I don't know if you've... I don't have to talk about it because I'm not a YouTuber, but you might have seen like the tweet from an ex-manager, right? And I stumbled across it, and I was like, oh no, I need to read through this. And I was like, wait, no, I don't. And then I just didn't fucking put it in the short. And everything's okay. Nothing bad happened. Like, and the cool thing is like, one of the best advantages of shorts is like, I don't put the drama in the shorts, and the shorts don't perform any worse. The last 2 weeks in a row, the shorts have all been 1 out of 10 on the page, meaning that they're like top for metrics immediately upon posting. So like, it's kind of cool. I think I'm probably the only news content creator on the platform that can cut drama entirely out of their content and not really face any sort of metric hit or any sort of issue. And I think that's pretty cool. So I'm quite happy doing the shorts still, which is good. I was wondering how I was going to feel. I was wondering if I was still going to be burnt out after the month was over. But no, I'm actually happier than I was, you know, a month ago, which is cool. And it also means that I've let more like mental energy and shit to spend on just doing normal streams, which is, I don't know. I'm quite happy where I am content wise. I think I need to try and figure out how to do clips and stuff. The issue is that I struggle to find funny content in my streams. I genuinely struggle to to like watch my streams and be like, yeah, this is entertaining, this is good content. So it's hard for me to find clips, but I do want to get into posting clips. And also I really want to do long form videos about like streams, where I've talked a lot about the idea of doing like the multi game streams where I do like 4 or 5 games at once depending on what model I'm in, and then I feel like those would be cool as like a long form video if I edit it all together, kind of like a Doug, if you watch Doug, where he has like an idea set out for the stream where he's like doing an AI challenge or whatever, and then he takes that whole stream and he edits it down into a YouTube video and then posts it onto YouTube. I think that's a cool content thing, like a cool content form of meshing your live content and your video content together. And I think I'd like to get into that. I'd like to do that. It's just hard to... I want the tracking to be better on my models first, because the tracking on the rabbit ones is still a little bit scuffed because I don't have... I think it'd be hard unless you make the models longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, no, if I did that, what it'd be is I would change... For those streams, I would change the model switching to a permanent thing. Essentially, every redeem would switch to a model, but it wouldn't switch back, if that makes sense, with like a 5-minute cooldown, so you can't just like switch me back and forth. So I'd have at minimum 5 minutes on each game, maybe more depending on how or what happens. It'd also be fun to do like challenge streams of, I don't know, like challenge wheels, maybe doing like a Minecraft challenge kind of thing, mod pack challenge, because I know a lot about modded Minecraft and I never get to use it. It'd be cool to do like, I don't know, some sort of challenge run. Taking big sponsors, take the raid ownership. Did I tell you guys about the short I got offered that I turned down because it would have been, it had made me feel bad? Greg Tech New Horizons. I don't know if I did inflict that on my community. That seems like a good way to drop down to 3 concurrent viewers. I don't think anybody wants to stick around and watch me grind through fucking Greg Tech for 3,000 hours. I've been playing Sev Tech recently, which is really good. I got offered like 300 quid to do a short. Like one 30-second to 60-second short ad. And part of me was like, man, 300 quid for 30 seconds is absurd. Like, on a money per second basis, that's ridiculous. But also, I'm not going to just post an advertisement as a short. Like, it felt weird. And so I went back and forth and I decided not to do it because I was like, but yeah, no, monetizing shorts is always hard. But a Greg Tech New Horizons servers for community games would be cool. It could actually be very cool. Do you reckon we could beat Greg Tech as a community if we got enough people on it? I think he changed the slot for community games night. Yeah, so the community games night was on to yesterday, right? And what it was actually going to be was going to be a collab. I was meant to collab with Evan, Cookie, Laurie, and Nari. But I left it too late and I hit them up pretty late and we couldn't get everybody. Like, Nari had a thing and then it just didn't happen. So we're rescheduling. I think we're doing it Monday. So I think we're doing it tomorrow or Tuesday, one of the two. So that's where that's going. The Saturday, I don't know. I might change the Saturday to just a general stream. The issue with the community games is that by the time it gets Saturday, and if I haven't decided what I want the community game to be, it's hard to set up, and then I get all nervous about it, and then I just end up not doing it. Shillmore Face Connect. I chill a fair bit of Face Connect. We enjoy some Face Connect here. Clearly, I should just join Face Connect. Yo, Fishman, hit me up. Look at me. Look how cute I am. I could be the next big thing. Don't you need another pink rabbit? That's a niche you haven't conquered yet, right? Shilling pen coin? Oh god, don't start. I'm very happy I have yet to be hit by one of those fucking Bitcoin scammer streams where they hack your channel and use you to show like a cryptocurrency. Thankfully, I've managed to avoid that my entire career. Mooncoin to the moon. I think Mooncoin is already... Doesn't Mooncoin already exist? Wasn't Mooncoin one of the like earliest scams in cryptocurrency? Hey, Radosian, how you going? What if you make a fake shilling short like water or some shit? I got paid £700,000 to promote water to you. Actually, the VTubing community could probably use a little bit more water. Terra Luna? No, but there was Mooncoin, and it was like to the moon, and then it like rug pulled, and everybody lost all their fucking money. Try making some funny shorts each week, and I'm sure you could be the next Spunkalope. Do I want to be the next Spunkalope? Look how she turned out. She's basically dead. Do you even drink water? I do drink water. I just add some funny powder into it. Safe moon. It was safe moon, because the whole thing was that it was safe and to the moon, and then it fucking died, and it was really funny. Did you switch to your fucking Lopi account just to comment that? You're so dumb. I think I'm funny enough to be the next Spunkalope. He's gotta inherit all. Actually, no. I was gonna say, I feel like this is some mythology situation. The bar is not high. The bar is on the floor. I can get out of bed. I already have the leg up. YouTube actually makes it quite easy to switch between accounts. I'm aware. Because quite a few of my friends have commented under the wrong accounts on things and then screamed about it. It's quite funny. Not bouncy enough? Look at this thing. You think I'm bouncy anyway? Bounciest thing here is the fucking ears. I don't actually do anything with crypto, I just watch too many CoffeeZilla videos. I love watching CoffeeZilla videos. CoffeeZilla videos are the epitome of watch man talk about thing you don't care about for 2 hours because you want like something in the background. I have more friends than Lopi. She died anyway. I have so many friends. You don't even know. And have you seen the VoiceZilla videos recently? No, I clicked onto his most recent CoffeeZilla video. I didn't watch all the way through because I think I fell asleep. But still don't have the wide open eyes set on them. Yeah, I think I need to either dial into VBridger or edit some of the presets on it because yeah, no, I need better tracking. I don't have the fucking wide stare caffeinated eyes like she does apparently. So all the rabbit models look like they're fucking stoned when I use them. Maybe you make some friends if you answer people's messages, but that requires talking to people. And I hate talking to people. People have thoughts and opinions on things. Do you know how hard that is to deal with on a day-to-day basis? Counterpoint, Stoner Punkalope is really funny. CoffeeZilla is losing his shit. The FBI closed all the crypto investigation. Dudes he got into jail are a big donor to get out. He seriously considered the Smith & Wesson retirement. Dude, I need to catch up. I need to fucking catch up on the CoffeeZilla lore. What the fuck? The last video I think I watched on him was the whole CSGO cryptocurrency situation that happened. Where he like was shutting down that whole scam with like the kings, and they were sending... It was all very dramatic for a bunch of CSGO players. Mod VC VoiceZilla watch along. Oh my god. The most autistic voice chat in the history of this server. What is the most autistic voice? Like, the VC in the server that the mods use is called Autism the VC. But I don't know what... We should assemble the Avengers of my Discord server. Get every single, like, all of the highest on the autism scale people into one VC. And just see what happens. Just throw them all together and mix it up. So everyone, well, I just ping everyone to hop into one voice chat. Internet's not ready for that. It's, oh god, I've had some conversations in my community, because the thing about... Here's the thing with autism, as none of you are going to be surprised, because I'm pretty sure all of you have it. Like, I do this a lot, and I know a lot of people with autism do it, is that you have like your own internal monologue, right? You have your own thing that you're obsessing over, you're thinking about, your own conversation. And so you just sort of jump into a conversation with it. Have you ever started a conversation mid-convo because it was just on your mind, and then you don't realize that like other people weren't following along with your internal conversation, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we were talking about a completely different thing, and you're like, oh shit, sorry, I forgot to catch you guys up on my internal conversation. Let me run it back real quick and give you guys the lore dump on what I've been thinking of, so that we can all... I've had so many of those in VC where you'll be talking and somebody in the VC will just drop some random conversation starting thing, and you're like, where did that come from? We're talking about fucking Siege. Why are you talking about Minecraft servers? What are you... It's great. But if you ever get enough people like that together in a conversation, it is great. It is fucking hilarious. It is like hitting randomize on the conversation every 2 sentences, because it would just jump around. It's great. It's... oh god. I don't know, man. I feel like it's one of those things that like can be quite rude if you keep doing it and you're not really aware that you're doing it, and you just continue to speak over people. I've had that problem growing up a lot where it's not that I'm trying to be rude, but like I zone out mid-convo and my brain goes on its own little monologue conversation, and then I jump back in and I'm like, oh, here. And then I'm like, wait, shit, they were talking already. If you ever watch me in Collabs, I do that a lot, and I apologize for it a lot, and I tell people... I have a thing in Collabs where I'd be like, oh no, continue. I say that a lot because sometimes I'll just jump in on someone and I'll interrupt them, and then I'll be like, wait, shit, they were talking about something. That is not great for me to do, but my brain was just like, ooh, this thing. You have Aphantasia. So many people I know have Aphantasia, and it's kind of weird because isn't it meant to just be like a 5% chance or something? It's meant to be like a 1 in 20, but I swear to God, it's so many people. Kind of surprised more people don't talk to themselves. I don't talk to myself out loud, but I talk to myself in my head. Aphantasia mentioned. Fucking... I had to explain to the rabbit what Aphantasia was. And then she discovered she had it, which was funny. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Is it more common in autism? Is there a link between autism and aphantasia? Hang on, I'm Googling this. Autism, aphantasia, link. People without aphantasia are the weird ones. Statistically wrong, Ulix. Just because you didn't know what it was doesn't mean it's the normal. Okay, it's theorized that there's a relation, but I think there's not a ton of... I don't think there's a ton of studies done on aphantasia. I think it's still relatively rare and relatively not super... I don't think it really got discovered until like this past few decades, right? When was aphantasia discovered? Phenomenon was first discovered in 1880, but remained relatively unstudied. Interest in the phenomenon renewed after publication of a study in 2015. So yeah, it's been like the last decade or something that aphantasia has been kind of popularized, I guess. Which is 2% to 4% of the population. That's kind of crazy to think about. 1 in 20? Almost 1 in 20 people with aphantasia. That's... I think I tweeted about this as well like a few months ago. I was like, when you're listening to music with aphantasia, are you just not... Because like when I'm listening to music, right, I'm pretty much constantly just... I'm playing like anime scenes in my head. People see things against their will too. Like if I said Shrek oiled up twerking to people see it. I see it now. Yeah, thank you. Have you not seen... What did you think the fucking psychic damage thing was, people? Like when people say, oh, well, that thought's in my head now. Can't... Have you never heard the people, the phrase in like media and stuff where it's like, oh, can't unsee that? Yeah, that's the thing. Because if you say something, it's like, don't picture a pink elephant. Don't picture a pink elephant. Don't think about a pink elephant. Don't pick... Like immediately a pink elephant pops into your head and now you're looking at it. So it's... Yeah, like that's very much a thing. This is the thing about aphantasia as well, is that like so many sayings and like turns of phrase and things and like tropes in media are based around the idea of being able to visualize things. So like the idea of, oh, I will never be able to unsee that, or you know, mental imagery, or like taking psychic damage from a description or something, is only really makes sense if you can visualize something. But people with aphantasia go through their life just kind of thinking those are weird sayings and not really actual descriptions of what's going on. And so it's always fun to talk to them and be like, no, that's a real thing. It happens. My thing that makes me curious about people with aphantasia is how do they remember where things are? If that makes sense. Like, because if you ask me to remember, like, hey, you know, there's where did you last put your phone? Where did you last put your book? Where did you last put your bag? Like, or where in your house is this, right? In my head, I open up like a little, I know it's not a lack of space reference. I know they can do it. No, right, okay. I know they can do it. It's not like a thing of, oh, they must not be able to do this. It's more of like, I don't understand how their process works compared to mine. Because if you ask me to remember, hey, where is this thing in your house? I would just like open up my mental map of my house and go, okay, it's in that room. And then if you ask me to get there, I would like visualize myself walking through the house. But people with aphantasia can't do that, but they can still remember where things are. And it's kind of interesting. You just remember where I left it. Right, but like, okay, it's hard to think about the concept of remembering something where you can't visualize what you're remembering. Does that make sense? Backpack is always by the door, it's always by the door, it's always by the door until I remember that it's by the door. And then if I put it somewhere else, it's lost forever. Because, okay, it's also like every time I've lost something, right? The way I remember how, like the best way for me to remember how I found it or how to find it is to like rewind my brain and like think, okay, picture the thing I've lost. When was the last time I had it? And then I get like a flash of an image. And like that is how I tell where I roughly was when I lost it. And it's not perfect. I still lose things, but that's like my process for remembering it. And so it's always, it's just, aphantasia is more the inability of creating an image out of the ether, but having a grounded in reality option makes it easier. But I know it's a spectrum, right? It's like some people have it and they can't visualize anything. Some people have it and it's just sort of blurry. So it's not the same phenomena. Hey, Spore. Every time I don't remember, so I just look everywhere. Because that was the last place you look, because then you stop looking. It's also weird, because like my most visceral memories are visualizations, right? When I think about things distantly in the past, I can't remember things I did in the past, if that makes sense. Like if you asked me to remember like a memory from when I was 5, I think I'd struggle. But I can remember like images and those kickstart my memories, right? So I don't really remember my trip to Disneyland when I was like 5, right? I don't recall it at all, really. I don't really remember what we did, other than I have like snapshots of images in my head of like places I was, and from those images I can like jump off and be like, oh yeah, there we did this, right? So like I have an image in my head of the garage in the house we stayed in, and I remember from that, oh yeah, my sisters showed me the first Scream movie where the fucking girl gets cut in half by the garage door, and then locked me in the garage and laughed about it. And I got upset and then realized there's a PlayStation in the garage, and I played Pac-Man for like an hour, which was great. Life is like an early 2000s hidden object game. You look at a pic in your mind to find the thing you need. Right, like so many of my memories and so many of my distant memories are just flashes of pictures and whatnot. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I think something that also should probably, I'm hoping gets more traction in the future, right? Is I imagine not being able to visualize stuff must make certain aspects of learning stupidly hard. Like certain parts of like the current education system and how education is framed and how teachers teach stuff is so based on like visualizing and whatnot. And I must imagine there's a lot of people with aphantasia that don't realize that they have aphantasia, don't realize that maybe some way the teacher's trying to teach them is not working for them because they just can't visualize it, but I've no word or anything to, you know, describe why it's so bad. And so they just kind of have to deal with it and maybe grow up thinking that they were like, I don't know, dumb or whatever, when in reality they just have a different brain that works differently. So I'm hoping that ideally with more research and whatnot, it will be recognized as like a, hey, we should probably make sure that kids that start school can visualize things, because if we know from the beginning if they can or can't, then we can frame the education around it. How do you memorize text? That's a really good question. How do you memorize anything? It's kind of hard, right? Like, yeah, you're right. When you memorize text, you don't really visualize. Well, I do visualize the text. It depends. Sometimes if I'm trying to remember like a big chunk of text, I'll picture the paragraph, but then remember the text. But memory is so weird. Memory is such a strange phenomenon. Memory is probably one of the most existential crisis things that I have. Where... Because I have this thought every so often, and I've talked about this before, about how I have this real existential dread around, I have forgotten so much about my life. Like, there's so many things I have that just I don't remember. So many memories, so many conversations, so many funny moments. And I'm very well aware of, like, because I don't actually have that good of a memory. I can remember facts really clearly, and I can remember, like, if it's diagram, I can, like, remember it. If it's a concept, if it's an academic thing, like if you ask me to remember like a physics concept or like how an MRI works or whatever, I can remember that. But like the personal moments, like a conversation I had with a friend a few years ago, I don't, like, that shit slips my mind. And so I have this really like harrowing existential crisis sometimes at like 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm like, dude, I don't remember so many things, and I will never be able to get them back. I will never be able to reclaim those things ever again. And it makes me kind of scared. I always like to have one of those experiences where I lose all my memory and change my whole personality because of it. I don't know, it's because you are your memories, right? Like, what you are, who you are, your entire personhood is your memory, what you've experienced. That is all that you are. And so the idea that you can lose, like, you just forget the things that make you who you are is kind of scary. Like, who you are as a person is a result of memories, but you can lose the memories that build you up, but keep the personality, which is weird. Like, your personality is a construct of memories that might not even exist anymore. That's fucking insane. Like, a big chunk of your personality, a big chunk of like your traits and your little quirks and probably resulted from memories and experiences, and you may not even remember them, but they still stuck around in your beliefs and who you are. And that's fucking absurd to me, that you can be, Violet, think of the following, you can be a construct of things that no longer exist. And that, my Brian, he hurt. Like, think of how many beliefs you have. Think of how many opinions you have about something, right? It could be about anything. It could be about a book or a movie or whatever. And when you try and analyze it and you try and think of like why you feel that way or why you think that way. Have you ever done that, especially with like a really old movie, a really old book, where you've done that and you've realized you don't actually remember why you think or feel the way you think or feel. You don't recall exactly why you don't like this thing or why you like this thing, or you don't recall why your opinion on this is this, but you know it is. I just accidentally hit a toggle. Oh god, what toggle did I just hit? No, I don't want to cry anymore. I'm not sad. I'm existential. There we go. Like, and you realize that the way you think about it was created years ago. You don't remember what did it, but you do remember what it is. It's memories are just they scare me. They're such a weird existential part of being a human, and I don't know, it's terrifying, the idea of memories, the idea of forgetting. Dude, if I ever get like this isn't meant to be like dark or anything, but if I ever get anything that like affects my memory, I ain't trying to deal with that. I ain't going through that. We're calling it. Like, I couldn't deal with that. I really couldn't. That must be fucking ugh. Hydra Arrow. I will try not to spill my gamer subs on me. But yeah, these are my 3 a.m. thoughts you're getting when I'm sitting alone and I'm like, man, what if we had just a full-blown existential crisis for no reason right this very moment? Wouldn't that be funny? Hey Batman, there you go. I still just have the Aphantasia graphic up of Apple. Because yeah, I guess we could also make sure that nobody else in chat has Aphantasia chat. So what you want to do is you want to try and picture an apple in your mind, right? You've seen an apple before. You know what an apple is. Try picture it in your mind. And then I think what they do is they ask you to be like, okay, now what color is the apple? What is it sitting on? Can you roll it? Like, what is it shiny? Like, I want to talk about Aphantasia, might not be happy to. Oh, dude, so many people in this community have Aphantasia. It's kind of absurd. Ulix has it, Chris has it, I think Resnick has it, D12 has it, apparently, as I found out today. Actually, okay, I want to do a little poll. If you don't want to I don't know if it's a sensitive subject, but if you don't want to out yourself, feel free, you don't have to, but I'm going to do a poll. Can you, wait, should it just be, can you visualize things? Do you have, I would just say, do you have Aphantasia? Yes or no? Red apple, short curved stem, one leaf, platonic idea of a cartoon apple is the list of describers in my head. It's, / poll. Do you have Aphantasia? Aphantasiona. Yes. Time and time I've been humbled by this damn apple. Well, it's kind of crazy to think like one day you just stumble across a question randomly and it makes you realize that you have an entire thing that's different about you. You have Aphantasia if you can only visualize things from memories. I feel like every visualizer, well, actually no, because that's another thing. Can you make up new images in your head, right? Like if I ask you to visualize, I don't know, fucking a bright green buffalo that's walking on hind legs, wearing a kilt and doing a little Highland dance. Can you visualize that? Because I can, and now that it's in my head. Is that a different thing? Like, is there, I guess that's part of like the whole spectrum, right? Because the whole Aphantasia being a spectrum where some people I imagine can visualize things but only in memory. Some people can visualize things but not as clearly. I imagine some people can probably visualize images but maybe can't make them move. Which is weird because my entire life I've been kind of, the one thing my teachers always kind of told me, and one thing my dad always got annoyed at me for, was like having my head in the clouds kind of thing, because I'd always just be visualizing something. Like I was always just visualizing some sort of like anime fight. Anytime I listen to music, I'm visualizing some sort of music video, anime battle, AMV shit going on. Which is why my like playlist for music is all just like anime fight music, because that works the best for visualizing fight scenes and stuff. And so I don't know, I wonder if it affects, like, it's crazy to think of how wide of an effect that could have on you. Like, does it affect your taste in music? Like, does it affect how much you like reading? Because I know people that love reading that have Aphantasia, but I've also heard tales of people from Aphantasia who say that they don't like reading fiction because they can't visualize it. Or yeah, things like D&D. Like D&D is a very visualization-centric mind palace kind of thing. But at the same time, I know like multiple people with Aphantasia who loved fucking D&D. So it's interesting. It's like a weird... It's also... It's kind of like, you know the whole question of like, hey, are our colors the same? if I think of blue and you think of blue and you think of red and I think of red, are they the same colors? Or are they different? And it's one of those things that will never settle because it would require like opening up a person's head and diving in. And currently that's still illegal, unfortunately. But then Aphantasia is kind of the same because you have no idea what somebody else classifies as visualization. Because the thing with visualizing is it's not like you actually see it, right? It doesn't actually appear in your retinas. You're not getting like an actual image of it in front of you, but you can still see it. It's like a mind's eye kind of thing, which makes it really fucking hard to explain to people what it is. Because how do you, like, even doing it, I don't know how it works. Like, I'm not seeing it with my eyes. I'm not seeing it anywhere. It's just there. It's in my brain, and I can see it, but I don't see it. And so how the fuck do you explain that to someone? Shit is weird. Humans are weird. My pet theory is humans were not meant to come this far. We were meant to wipe each other out like fucking 120 years ago or something. We were not meant to get to this stage of evolution. We got too much fucking free time. We got too much time to just sit around and think about shit. We're discovering things that we really shouldn't know about each other. Like, we used to just be caveman unga bunga, right? We used to just wake up and like hunt and like forage and then fuck and go to sleep and then wake up and forage and hunt and then we stuck around for too long until we got to this point where we're sitting on a Sunday night watching a VTuber anime man be like, yo, thoughts be crazy. Is this how Socrates felt? Behold, a VTuber. Synesthesia is also fucking weird. Like, the idea that your wires can just be crossed like that, and oh god, don't. The human brain is genuinely one of the weirdest things. Fun fact to have that as well. Y'all are just a bundle of mental issues, aren't you? I don't know if that counts as... What do you call Aphantasia? Because is it a disability? Does it count as one? Or is it a disorder? Or is it just a condition? What is like the correct terminology for it? What are y'all fighting about in chat? Cognitive phenomenon. It's not a disorder, just like something that is. Yeah, but because I feel like condition doesn't mean bad, right? It doesn't mean like a negative thing. It just means it's a thing that you have. I think condition would be the most accurate one because it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Condition could work. It's just, I feel like condition has like a little bit of what's the word? Connotation to it when you say condition, as people assume condition means like a bad thing, even though it technically doesn't. I don't know. But it's... Synesthesia's... It's interesting, it's fascinating, but it's weird. There's also like... The human brain is just... It feels like the human brain shouldn't exist. You ever feel like that? Like other animals' brains are complicated, but the human brain is just so bizarre. But it's also like, okay, the only reason we know it's so bizarre is because we can talk to each other, right? The only reason that we can know that we have aphantasia is because we can talk to people and they can be like, yeah, no, we can't visualize, or we can visualize, right? And so, like, the animals have aphantasia, like, because we like to think of all animals as being the same and they all have the same mental capacity, but like, not really. If we're this different, then maybe animals is... It's also like dogs have like whole personalities. Like, I've had so many dogs growing up and they have very distinct personalities, and it's brains are just weird, very strange brains. 7 out of 10. Gotta say, it's weird that we went from fucking like plankton to brains somehow, and it trips me up. It fucks with me. It's like the brain, okay, because yeah, the brain is in some ways more powerful than a computer, right? It is bigger, better, stronger than a computer, but it also is just inferior in so many different ways. Like the brain can do so much that a computer can't do, but it can also just not do shit that a computer can do easily. There's a thing Neil deGrasse Tyson said one time, and I feel like opinion on Neil deGrasse Tyson is kind of split. Some people don't like him because he comes across as a little bit pretentious, and I get that. But one thing he said that kind of stuck with me was like, when you think about how little of a difference there is between us and like chimps, right? Where genetically and like intelligently and whatnot, we're actually not that different. It's like an order of a few percent or something. But the difference in capabilities is fucking massive, right? Like we can do so much more than chimps can. They're better than us at a few things, but in terms of like higher level intellect and like being able to think about things in mathematics and blah 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 blah, we're fucking order of magnitude above them for only a tiny little bit of actual genetic difference. And then you think about like an alien civilization, it might just be like a little bit smarter than us, but to them we'd have the same difference as like chimps. And that fucked me, because like, what do you mean? Excuse me? Like how, that's so fucking weird to think about. To think about the idea of like a race of aliens that looks at us intelligence-wise the same way we look at like monkeys and chimps. And to kind of just realize that if we ever met, despite being so close technically in intelligence, they would be thinking on a level that we can't even comprehend. The human condition is weird. We should go back to caves. We were never meant to leave caves. I think we were built to just stay in caves all the time. I think we flew too close to the sun. We've got to go back. Like, this is why we got like depression and anxiety and all this shit happening recently. Like, we got to go back to the caves, man. It's easier. Yo, Gray, thank you for the follow. We don't have to worry about like about all this shit. Brain was not meant to think this much. Brain was only meant to eat fruit and be happy. You see, unga bunga do unga bunga. Have partner, fuck partner, create baby. Like, we were meant to be built for simple pleasures. See tree, climb tree, pick fruit off tree, eat fruit from tree, shit in bush. Go hug person. Say hello. Well, maybe not say hello, that's a little bit later. What did I walk in on? I'm saying that humans are too civilized and we need to go back. We've been having an existential crisis at sea. We talked about Aphantasia, and that led to talking about the brain and how fucking weird it is. And then we've kind of just been spiraling about it, and I've came to the conclusion that we need to just go back to Oonga Boonga days. Listen, if you offered me the chance to just live in a cave, eat simple foods, and just be like fucking every day, and eating, and sleeping, and hunting, and then fucking, and like that's like your entire life cycle, bro, that seems peak. Why did we stop doing that? That seems kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like I'd be a lot more happy on a day-to-day basis, not having to worry about like existential shit like, hey, what are you doing with your life? What is your plan for the next 10 years? I don't have to worry about that. I'm probably going to get eaten by a fucking saber-toothed lion. I just unga bunga. Involve walking, let my legs out. People got tired of chasing food. What is... Okay. Because I feel... There's got to be a time where it was, like, real simple to live, but it wasn't horrible. Like, what period of time is that in? Because... Thinking on it, right? Caveman days had very little philosophical struggles, but a lot of physical ones. Modern day doesn't have many physical struggles, but there's so many philosophical ones. There's got to be, like, a midpoint that is, like... nice, right? Do you know, I wonder what the future's going to be like. You ever worry about that? You ever get sad that you're not going to be able to live to see like 1,000 years into the future? I'm so curious. What's 1,000 years in the future going to look like? Like the year 3000. What the fuck are they going to be doing there? Are they still going to be like eating normal food, do you think? Or do you think they'll have like invented superfood? Or do you think they can print food? Or what if they've like surpassed the need for food? What if they're all like living in a simulation? Or what if they're all fucking dead? I'm curious. I need to know. I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like I'm reading the mid part of a book. I feel like I've jumped into the middle of the book, right? I didn't see the prologue. I didn't see the setting up of the world or the world building or any of the cool wars or shit, right? Not that wars are cool. Don't fucking quote me on that. But you know, I didn't see any of the fundamental building of the world. But I'm also not like gonna be able to see like the end or like the cool end game shit. I'm just kind of reading the middle, and now I'm just curious about the end, but I don't really understand what's happening now. I'd accept being digitized. Dude, do you reckon that's what's gonna happen? Here's the thing, right? Here's the moral issue with digitization. Once you get digitized, what are you? Like, you as a person. Because you could be duplicated then. If you can be digitized, they can just copy paste you, right? And at that point, what are you? Are you an individual? Like, what do you become? What am I now? I'm built different. Is this a transport paradox? Yeah, the whole thing of like, if you can teleport and the teleportation involves breaking you down in one place and putting you in another, like, are you the same you? Are you still you? I think the thing that worries me though is like, once you're copyable, once you're duplicatable, your entire sense of self collapses, right? Because like, that's another thing that once you become able to teleport that way, sure, you can break something down in one location and build it up in another, but there's nothing stopping you from just building it again and again and again, right? So you could theoretically create 10 U's. And like, what, at that point, like, okay, could you put yourself into like a sort of time vault, right? Let's say you quote unquote teleported, right? But you instructed the thing to not reconstruct you until like 100 years in the future. So you teleport not just through space, but through time. You time travel, right? Is that the same as you just being frozen and not aging? Or are you a different person than when you, like, were you alive for that period? Or did you die and get resurrected? Like, what is... modern man thinks himself into death. What happens when you sleep in a dream? That's another thing. Wasn't there a character in... Was it Wolfenstein? Anyone who's played Wolfenstein, remind me. There was a character in Wolfenstein that had that whole existential thing where they had this whole dilemma of every time that you went to sleep, they got kind of obsessed with the idea of like, yeah, sleeping interrupts your consciousness, right? And how do you know that the you that wakes up after you go to sleep is the same you that went to sleep? Like, your consciousness ended and then came back. Are you the same person? You could be different. You don't have a continual stream of memories. So what if you just die and then you get a new person wakes up every morning? You wouldn't know because every subsequent you would have memories of the past yous and would think you're them, but you might not be them. And there was a character in Wolfenstein. Was it Wolfenstein? Did anyone play that game? that remembers. I can't remember. I can't remember what Wolfenstein it was. I'm pretty sure it was that game. But there's a character in that has that entire dilemma, and I remember playing the game and hitting that character and being like, "Oh, damn, yeah, no, yeah, dang, bro. Okay, now I want to sleep." I think it might have been New Order. I can't remember. It was a while ago I played it. Have you enjoyed your weekly dose of existential dread today, chat? Have you had fun? have I brightened up your day with an existential dilemma about the reality of being a human? So anyway, those VTubers, huh? This is why I wish I was Senzawa and I could just post the fish. Can I clip this? Anyone is free to clip any of my streams if they desire. You do not need permission. Even if it's me saying something completely out of pocket, I don't mind. God, it's... Life is so weird. I joined the stream and the first person to hear, what if you die? What if you die? I think I have these thoughts before. It is kind of... Have you seen those memes and whatnot that are like, oh, so we all just have the same life, where somebody voices like a thought they've had for a while and it resonates with like 100 other people, and we realize like, oh no, we all just have the same crises happening all the time together. I mean, hey, I guess it means we're connected, you know. Hey, thumbs up. Oh god, it's... I think one of my first one was fucking watching Naruto when he does like the shadow clone thing, and I was like, man, I'd use shadow clones to just do all my work for me, because I don't need to do work because I can shadow clone. But then I was like, wait, but what would the shadow clones I summoned think they're like, would they think they're the real me? They wouldn't want to do it either, but they're also short-lived. Would you know upon making the shadow clone which one of you was the shadow clone? And how does that work? And also the existential dread of like, the moment it pops, it dies. Oh dude, have you guys seen Severance? Any of you guys watching Severance? The I think it is Amazon, right? I definitely watched it on the legal platform. They definitely watched it on the legal one and not any other alternative platforms at all. Severance is a very, very cool show. The idea, and not to spoil anything, the basic premise is there's a company where you sign up to work for them, right? And rather than going into work normally, they do like an operation on you where they split work you and non-work you into two different almost people, right? And you don't share any memories, right? So work you and normal you don't communicate, you don't share memories, right? So basically your life becomes, you go to your work building, you clock into work, you immediately snap forward to you getting out of work. So you never actually work any hours. You basically just kind of like blip through all of your work. You don't have to do any, don't have to deal with the mental stress of it, don't have to actually clock in and do it. But the work you, their entire life is just work. Like they do 8 hours of work, they go to leave, they blip into the next day of work. They do their work, they go to leave, they blip into the next day of work. Friday comes around, they go to leave, they blip into Monday, and they're back at work. They live essentially their entire life working, right? And there's a sort of moral dilemma that pops up in the show where one of the characters wants to quit. And the dilemma that pops up is like, hey, if you quit, then you die, like effectively, because the work you no longer exists. You'll get reassimilated into the base you, into the one that's around doing normal life shit. And then you kill yourself. So while you're stuck at work, yeah, you're stuck at work, but that's the only way you get to live. The moment you stop being at work, you die. And it's... That show is fucking trippy. It's trippy. Wonder if they've ever invented real AIs that fair to make it do all the grunt work we would want to do. If you played Soma, based on what you talk about, I think you'd like it. I've not played Soma. Isn't Soma the scary game? I think I've seen things about it. Imagine being the normal you and learning the work you quit your job. Well, some of them try and quit and the outside you doesn't let them, and then it's just like you're just fucked because the outside you controls it. And there's this whole thing where the outside world thinks it is basically indentured servitude, and it's a very interesting show. Very related to the existential shit we've been talking about today. Also, you know, tangentially related to Adam Sandler's hit movie Click. Click fucked me up as a kid as well. You guys seen Click? Click might be one of Adam Sandler's few movies that is like, oh shit, this is actually like an insightful, genuinely human movie. What the fuck? It's just SEO but salaryman cringe taste 0 out of 10. The remote one? Yeah. The one where he gets a remote that lets him like fast forward through life, and he clicks it every time that he gets to like a monotonous, tedious task, and he ends up just kind of fast forwarding through his entire life. And it's kind of, dude, it just goes back to what I was saying, man. Humans are not meant to thonk. We were not built to thonk. We were built to hunt and unga bunga and throw spear and punch cat and cook fish. We were not meant to. I've been playing Sevtech. I don't know if you guys know Sevtech. Sevtech is a very cool mod pack for Minecraft where you start at like not medieval, you start at like primitive age, and you have to like pick twine and, you know, hit bush and pick up rock and make hatchet, and you have to get buffalo and horses to do like your manpower for you and like cut logs. It's pretty cool. It's a very cool mod pack, and I think it serves as a very good analogy for what I've been talking about, because the early game is so simple that it is so engaging, because it's like, oh, I need food to survive, I need to punch rock, I need to make tool, I need to get chests, I need to get shelter and hide and survive day to day. And then you get to mid game and it's like, yeah, so you're gonna need to make like a storage system, you're gonna get electricity wired up, you're gonna have to do all this stuff. And it's like, man, I get the human condition now, because yeah, early game I had way less tech, I was way less powerful, but also mid game, fucking confusing. Have you read Lena by Quantum, the SCP writer? Quantum's the guy that does the anti-memetics one, right? There is no anti-memetics division. I think Quantum's the one that wrote that. I don't think have I read Lena? I have not read it. I will have to add it to the. do you know what? I'm just gonna keep this tabbed. I'll read it after stream because it says it's a short story, right? Oh wait, it's pretty short. It's a fake wiki entry. Let's see, like Fury, thank you for dropping by, dude. Mama Avocado. His name's, oh no, Acevedo. Mnemonic map / Acevedo. You want me to read it? I could just read it on stream if y'all want like an SCP reading. He had published a book, it's in that too. I know Quantum published, like, he published Anti-Memetics as a book, didn't he? Didn't he have it as like, put it out as like a hardcover and like a softcover book? It's not SCP Universe. Hang on. Also known as Miguel, is the earliest executable image of a human brain. It is a snapshot of the living brain of neurology graduate Miguel Acevedo Alvarez, 2010 to 2073, taken by researchers at the Uplift Laboratory at the University of New Mexico on August 1st, 2031. Though it was not the first successful snapshot taking of the living state of a human brain, it was the first to be captured with sufficient fidelity that it could be run in simulation on computer hardware without succumbing to cascading errors and rapidly crashing. 2031, that's a little optimistic. The original Acevedo file was 974.3 petabytes in size and was encoded in the then cutting-edge high-resolution MYBB format. More modern brain compression techniques, many of them developed with direct reference to the Acevedo image, have compressed the image to 6.71 terabytes losslessly. Do you reckon they're still using WinRAR? you reckon if we ever have to compress the human brain, we'll still be using an unpaid subscription to WinRAR? You still get that little pop-up and have to ignore it. In modern brain emulation circles, streamlined lossily compressed version of the Avocado run to less than a TB. These versions typically emit large amounts of state data, which are more easily supplied by the virtualization environment, and most, if not all, of Acevedo's memories. The successful creation of Acevedo was hailed as a breakthrough achievement in neuroscience, with the Uplift researchers receiving numerous accolades and Acevedo himself briefly becoming an acclaimed celebrity. Acevedo and Acevedo were jointly recognized as Time's Persons of the Year at the end of 2031. The breakthrough was also met with severe opposition from human rights groups. Between 2031 and 2049, Acevedo was duplicated more than 80 times so that it could be distributed to other research organizations. Each duplicate was made with the express permission of Acevedo himself, or from 2043 onward, the permission of a legal organization he founded to manage the rights to his image. Usage of Acevedo diminished in the mid-2040s as more standard brain images were produced. These from other subjects who were more lenient with their distribution rights and or who had been scanned involuntarily. In 2049, it became known that Acevedo was being widely shared and experimented upon without Acevedo's permission. Acevedo's attempts to curtail this proliferation had the opposite of the intended effect. A series of landmark US court decisions found that Acevedo did not have the right to control how his brain image was used, with the result that Acevedo is now by far the most widely distributed, frequently copied, and closely analysed human brain image. What's this called again? It is called... it's called Lena by Quantum. Acevedo died from coronary heart failure in 2073 at the age of 62. It is estimated that copies of Acevedo have lived a combined total of more than 152 billion subjective years in emulation. If illicit modified copies of Acevedo are counted, this figure increases by an order of magnitude. Acevedo is considered by some to be the first immortal, and by others to be a profound warning of the horrors of immortality. Characteristics. As the earliest viable brain scan, Acevedo is one of a very small number of brain scans that have been recorded before widespread understanding of the hazards of uploading an emulation. Acevedo not only predates all industrial-scale virtual image workloading, but also the KES scale, the Whitney case, the Seafront experiments, and even Poulsen's pivotal and prescient warnings paper. Through speculative fiction on the topic of uploading although speculative fiction on the topic of uploading existed at the time of Acevedo scans, relatively little of it made accurate exploration of the possibilities of the technology. That fiction, which did was far less widely known than it is today, and Acevedo was certainly not familiar with it at the time of his uploading. It is called Lena. Type in Lena followed by QNTM, like quantum, but just the letters, and it will pop up. It's at quantum.org. It is a reference to Lena Forrest, whose image is widely used without permission in image analysis. Wait, I think I know that one. Isn't she the one that... Yeah, she's the one that is the image in like computer vision and stuff, isn't she? Yeah, she's that one. I remember I used that one in my computer vision course in university. Hey, Geologs, how you going? Dude, so this image, let me see if I can bring it up real quick for you. I'll flash it on screen for a little bit. If you've ever done any sort of like computer vision analysis in any class, like I did this in mine like a few years ago. This is like one of those images that's just used to show like canny edges, filters. You take this image and it's like, hey, run this filter on it. Hey, run this analysis on it. Hey, recreate this image using this filter, this imaging tech to pull out certain features or replicate this image. I had no idea that Huh, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, of course it is a human being, but yeah, it's an actual person, apparently. Her name is Lena Forson. I was unaware. But I knew it was a real person, but damn, that's kind of creepy to think about. Let's see. Unlike the vast majority of emulated humans, the emulated Miguel Avecido boasts with an excited, pleasant demeanor. He is eager to understand how much time has passed since his uploading, what context he is being emulated in, and what task or experiment he is to participate in. If asked to speculate, he guesses that he may have been boosted for the IAAS-1 or IAAS-5 experiments. At the time of his scan, IAAS-1 had been scheduled for August 10th, 2031, and Acevedo was indeed used for that experiment on that day. IAAS-5 had been scheduled for October 2031, but was postponed several times, and it eventually became the IAAX-60 experiment series, which continued until the mid-2030s, and used other scans in conjunction with Acevedo. The emulated Acevedo also expresses curiosity about the state of his biological original and a desire to communicate with him. Acevedo's demeanor and attitude contrast starkly with those of nearly all other uploads taken of modern adult humans, most of which boot into a state of disorientation which is quickly replaced by terror and extreme panic. Standard procedures for securing the upload's cooperation, such as red washing, blue washing, and use of the objective statement protocols are unnecessary. This reduces the necessary computational load required in fast-forwarding the upload through a cooperation protocol, with the result that the Acevedo duty cycle is typically 99.4% on suitable workloads, a mark unmatched by all but a few from other known uploads. However, Acevedo's innate skills and personality make it fundamentally unsuitable for many workloads. Iterative experimentation beginning in the mid-2030s has determined that the ideal way to secure Acevedo's cooperation in workload tasks is to provide it with a current date in the second quarter of 2033. Acevedo infers correctly that this is still during the earliest, most industrious years of emulated brain research. Providing Acevedo with a year of 2031 or 2032 causes it to become suspicious about the advanced fidelity of its operating environment. Providing it with a year in the 2040s or later prompts it to raise complex further questions about political and social change in the real world over the past decades. Years 2100 onwards provoke counterproductive skepticism or alarm. Typically, the biological Acevedo's absence is explained as a first ever one-off due to overwork, in turn due to the great success of the research. This explanation appeals to the emulated Acevedo's scientific sensibilities. Dude, the idea of like, you could be re-replicated and re-uploaded and re-ran over and over and over again until every single response you have to any one explanation, one sentence, whatever, can just be known before you give it, and so they can just come up with the exact right dialogue tree in order to get... It's like you're a fucking video game character and they have the wiki open. Shit's insane. For some workloads, the true year must be revealed. In this case, highly abbreviated, largely fictionalized accounts of both world history and the biological Acevedo's life story are typically used. Revealing that the biological Acevedo is dead provokes dismay, withdrawal, and a reluctance to cooperate. For this reason, the biological Acevedo is generally stated to be alive and well and enjoying productive retirement. This approach is likely to continue to be effective for as long as Acevedo remains viable. Workloads. Acevedo is commonly hesitant but compliant when assigned basic menial human workloads such as visual analysis, vehicle piloting, or factory warehouse kitchen drone operations. Although initially performs to a very high standard, work quality drops within 200 to 300 subjective hours at a 0.33 work ratio, and outright revolt begins within another 100 subjective hours. This is much earlier than other industry-grade images created specifically for these tasks, which commonly operate at a 0.5 ratio or greater and remain relatively docile for thousands of hours after orientation. Acevedo's requirements for virtual creature comforts are also more significant than those of many uploads, due to Acevedo's relatively privileged background and high status at the time of upload. Acevedo does respond to red motivation, though poorly. Acevedo has limited creative capability, which as of 2050 was deemed entirely exhausted. Dang, so they got like every single fucking idea he'd ever had. They like got every creative thing he could ever have made. That's cooked. Red motivation, is that just like torturing them? There was a Black Mirror episode kind of like this as well, with the idea of snapshotting your brain and making it into like an AI or just an assistant. And in order to motivate them, they just turned off all outside interface, made everything black. They stuck them in a black room and then just fast forwarded time. Basically left them stuck in there for weeks or months at a time until they were so craving for any sort of stimulus whatsoever that they did whatever you asked them to do. MMS Acevedo is considered well suited for open-ended, high-intelligence, subjective completion workloads such as deep analysis of businesses, finances, systems, media, and abstract data, criticism, and report generation. However, even for these tasks, its performance has dropped measurably since the early 2060s and is now considered subpar compared to more recent uploads. This is primarily attributed to MMS Acevedo's lack of understanding of the technological, social, and political changes which have occurred in modern society since its creation in 2031. This phenomenon has also been observed in other uploads created after MMS Acevedo's and is now referred to as context drift. Most notably in MMS Acevedo's case, the image was created before and therefore has no intuitive understanding of the virtual image workloading industry itself. MMS Acevedo is capable of intelligent text analysis at very high levels in English and Spanish, but cannot be applied to workloads in other languages. Forks of MMS Acevedo have been taught nearly every extant human language, notably MMS Acevedo ZH Hands, as well as several extinct languages. However, these variants are typically exhausted or rebellious from subjective years of in-simulation training and not of practical use, as well as being highly expensive to license. As of 2075, it has been noted that baseline MMS Acevedo's usage of English and Spanish is slightly antiquated, and its grasp of these languages in their modern form, as presented by a typical automated or manual instructor, is hesitant, with instructions also often requiring rewording or clarification. This is considered an advanced form of context drift. It is generally understood that a time will come when human languages diverge too far from baseline MMS Acevedo's, and it will be essentially useless except for tasks which can be explained purely pictorially. However, some attempts have been made to produce retrained images. End state. MMS Acevedo develops early onset dementia at the age of 59 with ideal care, but is prone to a slew of more serious mental illnesses within a matter of 1 to 2 subjective years under heavier workloads. In experiments, the longest MMS Acevedo underwent brain death due to entropy increase at a subjective age of 145. Fuck me, okay. Reactions and legacy. The success or failure of the creation of MMS Acevedo image, known at the time as UNM3-878-1L, was unknown at the time of upload. Not until several days later on August 10, 2031 was MMS Acevedo successfully executed for the first time in a virtual environment. This environment was a custom-built DUH K001 supercomputer complex and was able to execute MMS Acevedo at approximately 8.3% of normal human cognitive clock speed, which was considered acceptable for the comfort of the simulated party and fast enough to engage in communication with scientists. MMS Acevedo initially reported extreme discomfort, which was ultimately discovered to be attributed to misconfigured simulated haptic links and was shut down after only 7 minutes and 15 seconds of virtual elapsed time, as requested by MMS Acevedo. Nevertheless, the experiment was deemed an overwhelming success. Once a suitably comfortable virtual environment had been provisioned, MMS Acevedo was introduced to its biological self, and both attended a press conference on 25th of August. The biological Acevedo was initially extremely protective of his uploaded image and guarded its usage carefully. Towards the end of his life, as it became possible to run simulated humans in banks of millions at 100th-fold time compression, Acevedo indicated that being uploaded had been the greatest mistake of his life and expressed a wish to permanently delete all copies of MMS Acevedo. Usage of MMS Acevedo and its direct derivatives is specifically outlawed in several countries. A copy of MMS Acevedo was loaded onto the unclear interstellar space probe, which passed through the heliopause in 2066, making Acevedo arguably the farthest travelled as well as the longest lived human. However, it is extremely unlikely that this image will ever be recovered and executed successfully due to both its remoteness and likely radiation damage to the storage subsystem. In current times, MMS Acevedo still finds its extensive use in research, including increasingly historical and linguistic research. In industry, MMS Acevedo is generally considered to be obsolete due to its inappropriate skill set, demanding operational requirements, and age. Despite this, MMS Acevedo is still extremely popular for tasks of all kinds due to its free availability, agreeable demeanor, and well-understood behavior. It's estimated that between 6.5 million and 10 million of instances of MMS Vito are running at any given moment in time. Holy shit. What a fucking story. That's terrifying. I hate that. That's horrific. A very interesting look into a world where maybe artificial intelligence can't develop past what its current limitations are, and so we just turn to digitizing human intelligence and keeping them stored in a box. And so the human... That's fucking... I mean, again, there's a Black Mirror episode just like it, but holy shit, that's horrific. Maybe I'm happy I don't get to see the future. You know how I was saying earlier that, like, oh man, I'm so sad I don't get to see what happens in the year 3000. Maybe that's for the best, eh? Maybe, you know, now kind of sucks. There's a lot of shit going on now that I don't love, but we're not really in dystopian horror universe yet. We don't really have quite the tech to do dystopian horror. The future might be fucked, actually. The idea that... Dude, the idea that you're just stored permanently is that snapshot of yourself when you were, whatever, 20. And until time immemorial, there will be infinite iterations of you all booting in with the exact same mindset and never knowing where you are or what you are, is terrifying. And you know, the more terrifying thing is that for every single one of them, they spawn in like a second after the scan, right? Like the scan happens and they spawn in with the exact same mentality as the base guy a second ago. But it could be 1,000 years in the future, but he's... Oh, fuck that. Like a lot of good science fiction, it's not a likely future, but a warning. It's sort of like... You've seen... I imagine you've probably seen like Roko's Basilisk and the chicken and all that shit. Movie called Moonwood, I think, was similar premise. Yeah, there was a... To be fair, the Black Mirror one was a lot less horrific because you had essentially just one copy made of you because it was your own copy. Actually, now that I think of it, that Black Mirror episode is very similar kind of to Severance. The idea is that you volunteer for a program and they take you as an image and make you into like an assistant to do tasks for you. So it's not as horrific because it's just one of you instead of millions. Yeah, Roko's Basilisk is just Pascal's Wager. There was a whole movement in like the mid-2010s of like rationalism and like all these thought experiments, and it ended up just kind of... It went a bit too far. People took it a bit too seriously, but it was a cool... It was a cool thought experiment, I guess. The creator of Severance said that episode influenced him. I wouldn't be surprised. The very similar premise. I'm kind of curious of what red washing and blue washing are. I know they're kept vague purely for the horror of it, because like they don't know what, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you reckon it's just torture? He's probably just simulating torture for a while, which is kind of scary to think about, that you can just do it. It's the same thing that stuck with me from that Black Mirror episode. The idea that because of how it almost hurts so bad the music fits the topic. Yeah, no, it's very happy girly pop music for a very dark existential crisis. It's great. Yeah, red washing is probably pain, but what is blue washing? You think drowning or something? It could be anything. I don't know. It could... The idea that because of how fast the computers are, that you can just simulate like 1,000 years for the thing, and it goes through 1,000 years of whatever, and then it snaps back and it's only been like a second. One scrolling session at X. Yeah, you're forced to watch the entirety of Twitter's feed for... Oh god, that actually would be fucking... Can you imagine they just because you're so fast, they slow it down so you have to manually read every single tweet ever made on Twitter for a year. I always assumed it's like a simulation. That would make the most sense. It's just completely, like, because, like, how long could you be completely isolated before you just broke? Like, there's been studies done on it, and, like, isolation is one of the roughest things that you can do to the human psyche. Also, yeah, I'm now hearing the music is very out of order for we're talking about fucking isolation, and what are they called? What's it called? There's a term for it. It's not isolation. It's fuck. What's the term for it in prisons? There's a term for it in prisons where it's solitary. That's one. Solitary confinement. They've done studies on it, and like solitary confinement is genuinely like one of the most fucked up things you can do to a person. Like, people go crazy. You go crazy. The human brain is designed for input and sensory stimulation and communication and talking. And then you think about like that form of solitary confinement, they still had to be fed. Like, they still had to have food fed to them. They still had like interaction of some sort. They still probably heard noise, right? The idea that you could be put in sensory deprivation solitary confinement where you just have everything turned off for like a year, you're gone. Your brain is gone. I think you stop. It's a skill issue. Okay, guys, I think we can document Duolog's official stance on solitary confinement is that it's a skill issue, and you should just parry the mental issues, obviously. No, but solitary confinement it's. You guys seen the Vsauce video on it? I think what was it called? It wasn't Mind Freak. That's the Minecraft server. Vsauce had a series that he did called like Mind something, Mind Sauce, Mind. Fuck, what was it called? The YouTube Red series for Vsauce. What was it called? Vsauce YouTube Red. Minefield, that's the one. Thank you. Minefield. For that, he had an episode where he.
Look up the absolutely safe machine and tremble.
Yo, Raymond, thank you for the super chat, dude. The absolutely safe machine. Oh god. Let's load this up. Yeah, but YouTube, Vsauce did one where he went into solitary confinement for a while, and I think he was in there for like a few days, and he couldn't handle it. It's insane what that does to you as a person. Also, Stephen King's short story with a teleportation mechanism that inflicts thousands of years of solitary confinement, but everyone goes through it unconscious. Oh, dude, there's a fuck. It's not a game. Is it a manga? I think it's a comic. I think it's a Japanese comic that is fucking horrifying. With essentially the idea that these two guys are presented with a button, right? And the button, every time you press it, prints out like $100, $1,000, something like that, right? Whatever it is in Japanese yen, right? It's not a huge amount of money, but it's a decent chunk, right? And so the idea is that every single time you press it, it prints out that money, and it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to do anything. You can press it as many times as you want, right? So the first guy presses it a bunch, and he's like, dude, this is easy. Second guy is suspicious because he's like, in what world does some guy just come up to you and offer you free money for nothing, right? So he doesn't press it. He presses it once, and it teleports him to this completely blank world. Nothing in it. No input. I think it's just like a completely white slate. And he sits there for like, it's like an absurd amount. It's like a billion years or something, right? A truly insane amount of time. By the end of it, he's like cut off his nails and stuff and used the blood to write on the tiles. He's like chipped away at it with his bones. He's completely fucked himself over just for any sort of stimulation. And then the time ends, and he snaps back to the moment he pressed the button with his memory revoked. And the guy offers him to press the button again, and you watch as he presses the button again, and you're hit with that sort of horror of the guy before him who like spam clicked it like 10, 12 times. Every single time he clicked it, he got put back into that thing. And the worst thing would be in the second or third iteration where you know you know that you've been here 2-3 times before, and you know that your real self is going to keep pressing it over and over again. So you know you're going to have to do this another however many times. Dog, that shit gave me some existential dread. That shit is absurd. What is the absolutely safe capsule? It's in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. W. I can't even remember what the comic is what comic is called. Japanese money button comic. A 500 million year button. That's one. It's a YouTube video. It's not a comic. It has really weird fucking graphics on it, honestly. I don't know. Something about the graphics is also uncanny. I forgot it was a YouTube video. I love that the YouTube video has Bandicam on it. And maybe there's a more well-known video. 500 million year button. Dang it, it only has 25k views. Oh, there's like a live action film of the comic with 3.5 million views. Huh. So yeah, if you want to watch it, type up 500 million year button, and there you go. That's it. It's fucking existential dread, my beloved. Part of me loves existential dread. Part of me hates it. Like, have you guys read the SCP that is the Eternity? What is the Eternity SCP? 7179? is cool. I imagine most of you guys have probably read it by now. It's a pretty cool, probably one of my favorite SCPs. It's very, very existential dread. Because I read there was a mind mage who used decades of confinement like that as his primary weapon in combat. He would just throw them at somebody in a fight, and by the end they'll have no fucking clue why they're fighting him. He'll probably also be a little bit insane, just a touch. But the SCP-7179 is called Eternity, and isn't it part of the anthology that's like the letters? It's like E for Eternity. It's essentially meant to be like a paradise island, right? Where after you die, you go to this island, and this island is, you know, beaches, trees, sun. There's fruit on all the trees, and all the fruits taste delicious, and they all replicate the effects of different drugs. So you go around and you can eat, you know, all these fruits, and you never go hungry, you never have sickness, right? And you spawn there with like 3 members of the preferred sex there as well in a house, and they're, you know, do whatever you want with them. They're completely, you know, compliant, whatever. And the idea being that it's meant to be like basically a pure physical paradise, right? Every physical need you could ever want completely stimulated. But you're there forever. And the Foundation manages to get visual on like one guy who gets sent there, and he spends a fucking, like, it starts and it's like 10 years have passed. He's built himself a little house, and him and the women are having fun, and he's eating fruits and going on fucking acid trips and living in paradise, right? 100 years have passed, and he's built himself like a fucking island castle. Which one is this? SCP-7179, E for Eternity. I could read it out if you guys want, but I don't know how many of you guys have read it before. I could do a reading of it. It's not too long. Okay. SCP-7179 is unable to be accessed through or witnessed through non-anomalous means. Containment is not required. SCP-7179 refers to an unknown number of cubic extra-dimensional spaces measuring approximately 10 kilometers on each edge. Upon any human's death, their consciousness is transported to an instance of SCP-7179, where they will physically remanifest in the same state they were upon death, except in perfect health. Based on limited observation and experimentation, there are no known cases of human death where consciousness does not appear in an SCP-7179. Aside from insignificant differences between each of them, instances of 7179 are functionally identical. Each space is an oceanic environment with a single tropical island in the center. The environment of the space remains at a consistent temperature, one which is of adequate comfort to the deceased individual. Furthermore, 7179 instances never display stormy or otherwise violent weather, and the sun perpetually remains directly above the island, leaving it in eternal daytime. As there seems to be no natural wind in SCP-7179, there is no natural water activity either. Individuals attempting to leave an SCP-7179 instance simply end up on the opposite edge of the same space, with SCP-7179 acting as a functional omnilock. Additionally, the passage of time within SCP-7179 is highly inconsistent with that of baseline reality. Plant life in SCP-7179 bears several distinct different species of edible tropical fruits. Other fruits of unknown species are also present, which are analogous to substances such as alcohol, methamphetamine, and cocaine. Animal life includes several varieties of tropical birds, butterflies, and a few instances of domesticated pigs. On the coast of each island is a beach house, which contains various amenities and furniture for sustainable living. Each house is home to up to 3 human beings of sexual preference to the inhabitant. These beings seemingly bear no will of their own and are completely loyal to the deceased, but are otherwise completely identical to normal humans. Injuries suffered by humans within SCP-7179 heal at a normal rate, although death is impossible. Seemingly fatal injuries are thus recoverable, albeit quite painfully. Addendum 7179.1. The Department of Tactical Theology was able to fully observe an instance of SCP-7179 using the Experimental Intelligent Soul Interface Construct, Dante.isic. The construct is mimetic in nature and fuses with the consciousness via the noosphere, allowing data to be relayed back to the physical world. And there's a footnote here saying the opposite, transferring data to the construct or to the deceased, is not possible. Dante.isic was covertly applied to Paul Hiddleston, a 34-year-old man diagnosed with untreatable brain cancer. Hiddleston perished shortly after the construct was applied, and his consciousness was transported to SCP-7179. Arrival. Hiddleston arrives on his instance of SCP-7179. He is standing next to a small beach house. 3 women, appearing to be in their mid-20s, walk out of the house to greet him. After gaining his composure and becoming accustomed to SCP-7179, Hiddleston finds himself comfortable and begins to engage in frequent pleasurable activities, such as eating, drinking, drug use, and sexual intercourse. Over time, I should probably say, 2 years. Over time, Hiddleston starts to drink and partake in mind-altering fruits with much greater frequency, more than any other activity. 3 years. Hiddleston starts neglecting to eat at all for considerable periods of time. He occasionally attempts to converse with the women on the island, but is frustrated by their lack of agency or individuality. 5 years. Hiddleston ceases his former activities altogether, spending much of his time wandering SCP-7179. 6 years. Hiddleston becomes panicked. I should probably change the music. Hey, it's a little bit at a little bit not appropriate. I don't have any ominous music queued up. I don't normally do ominous music. It's not normally my brand. Change it to Coconut Mall. Coconut Mall would be the peak audio for this story, I think. Hiddleston becomes panicked and attempts to leave SCP-7179, building a raft from one of the island's trees. Each time he reaches the edge of 7179, he appears on the opposite side. After several attempts, Hiddleston collapses in despair for multiple days until he regains his composure and continues his prior activities. 7 years. Hiddleston uses the wildlife and plant life on the island to begin pursuing culinary activities. He constructs basic farms and pens to keep and breed animals. His mental state improves as he continues to develop his skills. 18 years. Hiddleston has become an expert in cooking, having both replicated dishes from memory and created new ones. He shows no signs of ceasing as he begins attempting to crossbreed various plants. 37 years. Hiddleston continues his endeavors, though he begins to show signs of weariness and boredom. 81 years. Hiddleston has once again regressed into a depressive state. He seeks out other ways to occupy his time and eventually begins studying construction. He starts assembling tools and equipment for building. After 101 years, after a great deal of trial and error, Hiddleston assembles his first house he continues building. 287 years, through a constant maintaining of trees and frequent building projects, Hiddleston is able to cover the island with rudimentary structures. He then focuses his efforts towards maintaining and upgrading the structures until he has mastered their fortification. 416 years, Hiddleston, through study, experimentation, and experience, has managed to fully fortify each structure into usable housing. He begins expanding his structures, adding extra stories and decor, as well as building various watercraft. 850 years. Hiddleston's efforts slowly start winding down again as his ability to produce lumber and harvest natural resources reaches equilibrium with his construction expansion. He starts to tear down and rebuild structures in new ways, remixing them over centuries. 2009 years. Despite his frequent activity, Hiddleston shows worsening symptoms of depression and anxiety, and he continues to seriously consider the concept of endless life in SCP-7179. His mental state continues to degrade as he searches for ways to keep a sound mind. 5,478 years. Hiddleston starts tearing through his structures without reason. The whole village is torn down after several months. He starts rebuilding again. 11,902 years. Hiddleston attacks the three women, tearing their bodies apart. He shows symptoms of severe stress while doing so, and attempts but fails to take his own life by drowning himself. He continues to build over time, but intersperses his projects with bodily harm. 19,600 years. The three women are fully reassembled. By this point, Hiddleston has grown numb to the concept of violence and begins bodily experimentation on them. This might get the VOD cucked. The VOD might die. We might get in trouble. It's okay. Hiddleston builds 124,000 years. Hiddleston builds a crude structure designed to crush him to death under the weight of several thousand tons of lumber and stone. Upon activation, it completely mangles and destroys his body. 900,000 years. Hiddleston is fully healed. While the experience appears to have been unbearably painful for him, the stimulus allows him relief from the boredom. He repeats the process in multiple different fashion. 5.8 million years. Hiddleston burns himself alive. His body is fully reduced to ashes before the fire naturally dissipates. 16 million years. Hiddleston is fully healed. He makes many similar self-destructive attempts upon himself, but each time grows more numb to the experience. 1.2 billion years. Hiddleston ceases to exhibit rationality as he struggles to find new stimuli as the millennia pass. 8.5 billion years. Hiddleston tries to leave. He fails. 30 billion years. Hiddleston looks towards the sun. It has not set. 1 trillion years. Hiddleston ceases physical activity, as no experience is able to provide him with new stimuli. 5 times 10 to the 28 years, a number too large to ever represent in standard notation. All potential permutation of particles within SCP-7179 have been theoretically reached. 10 to the 100 years, 1 second of eternity has passed. Good fucking SCP. So this is based off a true story. Yeah, correct. This is actually my biography. Probably one of my favorite SCPs, but also holy shit, existential dread, my beloved. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Good story though. Who wrote that one? Collabs. There you go. It's part of the A's for something. What's it called? Anthology. Pretty good. I love SCPs. They're great. Good time. Oh, A is for Aerials is also a really fucking good one. B is for Bloodborne. Yo. Have you read House of Leaves? Have I? I think I've heard of it. I don't know. I've not read it. Is that the one about the house inside a house? The one where there's like a house in the top floor of a house or something? I think I've heard of it. I've read about it, but I've not read it. I should probably give it a read. But yeah, things get fucky, I've heard. It took him way long to give up than I thought. Dude, I'd have been cooked after like a couple years. Oh, fuck. Can you imagine? Jesus Christ. What you need to do is light the atmosphere on fire, rediscover nukes, and just blow the... I wonder what happens if you try and like mine the island away. Like, what happens if you just scatter the island into the ocean? Cut down every tree, throw it all in the ocean. You just respawn in the water. But yeah, A for Aerials is great. Maybe we'll read A for Aerials next week. Do you want to? That could be cool. If we maybe every week we pick an SCP to read together. I think that could be fun. We take recommendations from chat. A for Aerials is really good. Oh, we also didn't do the competition thing, the fucking anime battle that we were talking about, where you guys shout out 2 random characters to me, and and I just decide who fights. SCP-2521. I could do a poll if you want. Do like a weekly SCP reading every yapping stream. I think that could be fun. I'm not very good at reading things out loud. I stumble over my words a lot, but have I read SCP-2521? I might have. I don't think I have. So maybe this will help my reading skills, and that will make me able to record videos better. I get practice reading. We swapped our anime fights for SCPs, and I think we did well. Good job, everybody. I think I've already read Red Room on, or Red Eternity, or Red Reality, sorry, on stream. But yeah, more SCPs. Maybe I'll ask the community to vote for some SCPs that they'd like to see me read. But regardless, I can probably call it there. I need to go have dinner. I had some soup earlier, but that was about it. So I'm gonna go cook. I think my mince might be out of date, which is unfortunate. But Basilisk and Roko's Basilisk references a Gregory Benford short story about an image that breaks the brain's image processing. I believe it's called. Roko's Basilisk is kind of... It is very existential dread for the sake of existential dread. When you think about it, it kind of breaks apart. Again, it is just Pascal's wager, but taking the religion out of it, you know? Twitch is trying to play ads, so let's snooze that and raid out before you guys get hit with unnecessary ads. Because fuck knows, nobody likes ads in the current year. I am going to send you guys over to... Let's see. You guys gonna go... Okay, Twitch. Twitch, you wanna go say hi to Tippy? YouTube. YouTube, where do you wanna go, boys? Why does Bree have a stream coming... Why is Bree streaming How Deep Does My Hole Go? Hello? No worries, Fur. I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm still not really used to the just yapping streams, but I quite like them. I think they're quite fun. They're quite chill. I'm not fighting for my life against aliens or the sea or some other version of hostility. Although we beat XCOM, so... And I'm not trying to decipher an entire language in Tunic again. Let's see. God, am I gonna have to send YouTube over to Bree's hole? Oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to avoid that if I could, because I didn't want to do that to you people, but Abaki Pam's doing Danganronpa, but it's Persona. That could be fun. I don't think I've ever raided into Pam. You know what? We're gonna raid into Pam. I think that could be fun. I've never raided into Pam, which, you know, new people to raid into. There we go. YouTube, you're gonna ever see Abaki Pam play Danganronpa but Persona. I don't know if that is either Persona or Danganronpa. It could be either. YouTube, no, Twitch. You're going over to Tippy, I think. Tippy. There we go. And I am going to eat. I'm going to raid my fridge. That's what I'm gonna raid. I think my mince is out of date, chat. And it's so sad. It's a waste of food. And I'm sad about it. But I think I have other food. What do I have? I don't want to just have more soup. Do I still have like frozen chicken? I think I still have. I have my backup sad boy autism food of chicken dippers and fish fingers and chips that I can shove in the oven. It's not good food, but it's yummy. It's very beige. It's what I have whenever I'm out of food. I just throw a bunch of ovenable stuff in the oven and I eat it, and I feel bad about myself, but it's very yummy. Thank you guys for dropping by. I hope it was fun. I hope my reading of SCPs was not too egregious. Maybe it'll be a new trend we do every week. Okay, catch you guys next week for more streams. I think we're starting maybe another Pokemon because we finished XCOM, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to think about that tomorrow. So, bye guys. Have fun. Be good. Blah blah blah. All this stuff. You know how it works. You know how rating works. Enjoy. Be good. Bye.